So a sneaker release Saturday a day, which actually turned out to be a huge day as far as Jordan Brand releases. Not only did we see the return of a fan favorite, but Nike also hit us with a good old-fashioned shock drop, which may have caught some people off guard, but for all of us that follow the scene, we kind of already knew what to expect. I did mention it in a video a couple of days ago, but you never know when it comes to these releases. Nike could kind of change things at the very last moment. So it's cool to see that they followed through with the plan, and even more importantly, it's cool to see that our insiders were actually 100% spot on in regards to the shock drop. So we're gonna get into all the details here shortly, but first, I do wanna start with these Mellow 12s, a fan favorite, which we actually haven't seen retroed since this sneaker originally released all the way back in 2004. So at that time, this sneaker originally was inspired by that UNC blue that is a common theme as far as Jordan retro releases, paying homage to MJ's alma mater at UNC. So what once originally started off as a UNC themed sneaker eventually became a Carmelo Anthony PE, which he was commonly known to sport on the court during his 2004 rookie season. So back then, you know, Carmelo Anthony, he was a Jordan Brand ambassador, still remains one till this day. But during his rookie season, if you guys think back to that time, if you weren't outside back then, it was pretty much like all about LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, which all shared that same rookie season. I remember LeBron James took home, you know, the Rookie of the Year that season. But I want to say out of those three, Dwayne Wade, he was definitely the underdog. You know, shout out to the Heat. I'm a huge Heat fan. And then Carmelo Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, he actually led those rookies in scoring that season. But of course, LeBron did take home the top honors, although he was the only one out of those three. This team actually didn't make it to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So those were good times. Back then, we did see Jordan Brand actually follow up the Mellow 12s with Carmelo Anthony's very own first signature model in the Mellow 1.5s. They then followed it up with the 5.5s, which I ain't gonna lie, I remember back in the day, I definitely wanted a pair of those, but never was able to grab a pair. And then after that, I kind of like didn't really fall out or didn't really pay too much attention to all of the Mellow sneakers. So it's cool to see that Jordan Brand and Carmelo, they still maintain that relationship. And 20 years plus, we got the return of the Mellow 12. So as far as this drop, this was the premier release hitting the Sneakers app. These also did drop at pretty much every other major retailer, which normally carries Jordan retro releases. As far as this take, these are pretty much spot on exactly what we saw back in 2004. So it's cool to see that Jordan Brand didn't really touch these too much, but just pretty much give us the exact same take that we saw back in 2004. So this is a great one for OGs, people that missed out on these back in the day, or if you're just a fan of this color blocking or a Jordan fan 12, this would definitely be a great pickup. As far as the Sneakers app release, when it comes to men's pairs, according to Eldon monitors, we saw roughly around 29,000 pairs load up. Remember, that's just adult sizes. These did also drop in kids and infants as well. So not too many to go around, but surprisingly, this is actually a release which we do see sitting via the app. It looks like some of the bigger sizes did sell out, but it seems like as far as this one, this is a sneaker which you could pretty much just easily grab anywhere. So I would say that's a great news, you know, for anybody that was looking to get their hands on these. This is a classic pair, as we mentioned, and as far as this sneaker right here, being is that these are sitting and widely available everywhere, do you guys feel like this is one that later down the line a lot of people will snag up, or do you feel like it's a Jordan retro that we could potentially see going on sale coming up at a later date? And then for our big shock drop, we did see Jordan Brand hit us with the Soul 2.0, the Jordan Retro 3s, which are the follow-up to the Soul 1.0, the sneaker which I guess a lot of people would call a grail. It originally released back in 2018, paying homage to the 1988 Olympic Games, which did take place in Seoul, South Korea. Now, rumor has it that sneaker was originally limited to just like what people would say hundreds of pairs. They did drop exclusively in Korea, so as you can imagine, very collectible, highly sought after, resale prices going for like $1,000 plus. So a very infamous sneaker release. So cool to see Jordan Brand bring it back. I mean, why not? A sneaker which was originally very limited, but rather than just dropping a re-release of that original pair, they hit us with the 2.0, which does feature a similar design, but of course seems to be more of like a vintage age type of look. A look which it seems like a lot of Jordan Brand fans are kind of getting fatigued on. Personally, I actually think it works great with this sneaker. I actually like that look, and I think it all comes together with the soul theme and everything. So a really nice look. I think these are actually better than the 1.0, although not as limited. And we did see this sneaker actually loaded up via the Sneakers app about a week or so ago, but then for some reason Jordan Brand just kind of like mysteriously took it down. A lot of these sneaker insiders did claim that they would still be dropping on Saturday, and of course Nike, they decided to hit us with a good old-fashioned shock drop, which I feel like was actually a great move because it seemed like a lot of people actually had success on this release. So as far as the shock drop details, these joints did drop 10 a.m. Eastern via the Sneakers app, just as expected. And as far as the release, it seemed like it kind of caught many people off guard. I can't tell you how many W's I actually saw on my timeline. So while not everybody had success on this drop, it seemed like the shock drop was a good move. It caught many people off guard, and in return, for the people that were tapped in, you know, they had success on this drop. So a lot of people are happy about this one. Many sneakerheads said this was a special release. So it was really cool to see so much success on this drop. And I gotta say, packaging A1 on these, and for a Jordan 3, this is definitely a nice pair. So huge congratulations to everybody that had success on this drop. Now, the funny thing about this release, you know, when we talk about stock numbers and everything like that, it seems like sneakerheads always want what they can't have. And the reason I say it's kind of funny is because this shoe actually was more widely accessible than the Melo 12 when talking about the Sneakers app release, right? So for example, when you talk about Eldon Monitors, who monitors all of these stock numbers, the amount of pairs that we actually see hit the app, they get all of those numbers from the back end of Nike server. So when referring to those Melo 12s, when we're talking about adult pairs, again, I mentioned earlier, 29,000 pairs, while the sold 2.0s actually had 36,000. So more to go around. Shockingly, the Melo sat. Meanwhile, this shock drop pair actually was a quick instant sellout. So I guess people always want what they can't have. And just to play devil's advocate, let's just say Nike was to never have removed these from the app. People knew they were releasing at 10 a.m. right alongside the Melos. Do y'all feel like they would have sold out as they did? Or do you feel like people were excited about the shock drop, you know, fear of like missing out, and just with all the hype and everything surrounding a Jordan Brand shock drop, just went ahead and pulled the trigger anyways? I think that may have been the case, but again, it's not going to take away the fact that this is a great looking sneaker, one that many sneakerheads said is a very special pair of Jordan 3s. And for everybody that missed out on the 1.0s, how do you guys feel about your purchase of these 2.0? So again, congratulations to everybody. I like when they do these shock drops because although you know, everybody has access to the release, it's not like exclusive access. I think it catches many people off guard, sometimes even the scalpers, and it just seems like people get really excited, you know, rallying around the shock drop. So again, congratulations to everybody that hit. I can't tell y'all how many W's I saw on my timeline. So do y'all feel like Nike actually dropped 36,000 pairs of these, or do you feel like there was a lot more that went around? I don't really know for sure, but just saying, man. So salute to that. Now, of course, that was the big releases for today. But coming up next weekend, we got a release which I guess many people would say is the most highly anticipated release of the month. Of course, we're talking about the Jordan 4 White Cements. This one is regarded by many people as one of the greatest Jordan releases of all time. Just want to let y'all know, man, make sure you guys enter as many raffles as possible. Rumor has it worldwide around 300,000 pairs, possibly one of the biggest Jordan releases of all time. But as y'all know, this is one that's definitely in high demand. So before we bounce today, of course, it's Saturday. I just wanted to, you know, kind of go over some of the places that will be carrying this release. You guys are going to want to enter as many raffles as possible, or of course, you could just take your chances, you know, with the Sneakers app release. So first and foremost, I did want to highlight Dick's Sporting Goods, which you guys can go ahead and enter this raffle right now, which is available via their app. So you guys have up until the 22nd to enter the raffle. No purchase necessary to enter the raffle. And being is that DSG, you know, just made headlines for buying out Foot Locker, I wonder if all of the inventory and everything will all be just lumped into one. But usually when it comes to DSG, just based off their numbers and how popular they are and successful, I would say this may be one of your best chances as far as entering. You guys also can't forget about Hibbert, which you'll want to enter via the Hibbert app. As far as EQL raffles, A Ma Manière does have a raffle available. You guys are also going to want to check their also various networks such as APB Store. They have the raffle as well as Social Status. Just be aware that sometimes with A Ma Manière, shipping could be delayed, but again, a W is a W. We also have Better Launches, which has an EQL raffle. I mentioned those earlier in the week. By the way, guys, I'm gonna link all of these raffles in the description down below. You guys can also enter over on Features website, which all of these pairs are going to be retailing at $225. You also got Sneaker Politics. You got the N Clothing, which they do have a launch available. Sometimes N likes to charge a premium price, but it's good to know $225 is the standard retail. And then lastly, you got Tops and Bottom USA, a more lesser known retailer, but they are official and are hosting a nationwide raffle via their website as well. So for like Hibbert's, DSG, you guys can do the option for in-store pickup. That way you can secure your pair on release day, or for people like me, which don't have any major sneaker stores in your location, you can opt for the in-home shipping. So again, rumored to be one of the biggest releases, but you know, just want to let y'all know, guys, if you are looking to secure a pair, or maybe you're looking to double up, sometimes people are even crazy enough to triple up on a classic release such as, just make sure you guys enter, you know, do the footwork, as they like to say, for all of the places which are carrying this release. So my best bet would be DSG. I might enter DSG and then probably just go for like the Sneakers app release. I'm not going to be entering into every raffle, but just wanted to put all of the options that you guys have available. So I'll be sure to link everything down below. Comment if you guys picked up anything today. Did y'all grab the Mellow 12s? Do you feel like maybe down the line those could possibly go on sale at some point? Or did you have any success for today's big Jordan Brand shock drop? Comment down below if you guys enjoyed today's little update. Smash the like button. JA, I'll catch you guys next time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.